Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Nadya, Citra, Armelia, and today I will share my opinion about smoking in the campus area. First of all, let's be honest, smoking is still a common thing we see around us. Some students smoke because they believe it makes them appear cool or help them to relax. However, I believe that smoking shouldn't be allowed in the campus area. Why? There are three main reasons I will tell you today. First, smoking has a health risk to both the smoker and others around them. More than 4,000 dangerous compounds are found in cigarette smoke, according to medical studies. Therefore, it's unfair for everyone to become a passive smoker when someone smokes in public areas such as campus. Second, smoking makes the surrounding unclean and unhealthy. Cigarette butts are regularly found straight across the floor, often cause the crackling loads or classroom. Instead of being a smoke and dust repercussions, our campus should be a TV and welcoming learning environment. Third, smoking has the potential to negatively impact other studies. Younger students might consider smoking as normal or even cool when they watch their seminars being shown. That's how harmful behaviors spread easily. That's why every campus area needs to have smoking cool zones and clear regulations. Imagine walking into class in the morning and breathing fresh air and witnessing a clean atmosphere. There were campus like that, didn't we? So my message is clear. Let's keep our campus clean, smoke-free, and healthy for everyone. With the smokes, we may still cheer out, enjoy ourselves, and control our stress. Thank you for listening. Keep yourself healthy and stay away from smoking on campus air.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Nadya Citra Armelia and my student ID number is 64250264. So today I want to explain about the question words or what we often know as the WH question. So what's a question words or WH questions? A WH question or the question words is the question that requires an answer in the form of information and is very often used in everyday conversation. But before we making a WH question, we have to already understand about tenses because the sentence are flexible based on tenses. Like the verb or auxiliary will always change based on tenses. The strategy I use here is the start from the pattern 1 is talking about the subject. In the pattern 2 we're talking about the object. And in the pattern 3 we're talking about the subject and the object. And last we have conclusions. First, in the pattern 1 is asking about the subject. And the formula is the question word plus verb plus object and the question mark. If you wanna ask the sentence that the subject, you can use who. For example, in the present tense, who invited you? In the past tense, who invited you? And in the simple future tense, who will invite you? Next, we have what. If you wanna ask the part of the sentence that performs the actions, you can use what. For example, in the present tense, what's happened next? In past tense, what happened next? And in the simple future tense, what will happen next? Next, we have pattern 2. Pattern 2 is asking about the object. And the formula we use here is the question words plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb plus object and the question mark. And the object here is optional. First, we have whom. If you want to ask someone about the possession of an object, you can use whom. For example, in the present tense, whom do you meet? In past tense, whom did you meet? And in simple future tense, whom will you meet? Next, we have where. If you want to ask about a place, you can use where. For example, in the present tense, where do they swim? In past tense, where did they swim? And In the simple future tense, where will they soon? We have when. If you wanna ask about the time, you can use when. For example, in the present tense, when does he breakfast? In past tense, when did he breakfast? And in simple future tense, when will he breakfast? Next, we have why. Why is used to if you wanna ask about the reason. For example, in the present tense, why does she break up? In past tense, why did she break up? And in simple future tense, why will she break up? Next, we have what. If you wanna ask which part of the sentence the action is being performed in, you can use what. For example, in the present tense, what does she write? In past tense, what did she write? And in simple future tense, what will she write? And we have question 3. If you want asking about the subject and the object, you can use question 3. And the formula we use here, the question word, plus noun, plus auxiliary, plus subject, plus verb, plus object, and the question mark. And still, the object here is optional. First, we have whose. If you wanna ask whose sentence belong to whom or possessive sentence, you can use whose. For example, in the present tense, whose car do you drive? In past tense, whose car did you drive? And in simple future tense, whose car will you drive? Next, we have which. Which is used to ask about an adjective. For example, in the present tense, which happiness do you mean? In past tense, which happiness did you mean? And in simple future tense, which happiness will you mean? Next, we have how. There's 5 types of how. First, there's a how. Second, how much. Third, how many. Fourth, there's a how are or how is. And last, there's a how long or how often or how far. First, there's how. If you wanna asking for a manner or a method, you can use how. And the formula is still the question word plus noun plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb plus object and the question mark. And for example, in present tense, how tall do you fix the bicycle? In past tense, how tall did you fix the bicycle? And in simple future tense, how tall will you fix the bicycle? Next, we have how much. How much is asking for the amount of money or uncountable objects. For example, in present tense, how much sugar do we need to make coffee? In past tense, how much sugar did we need to make coffee? And in simple future tense, how much sugar will we need to make coffee? Next, we have how many. How many is used for asking the amount of money or object that can be counted. And for example, in the present tense, how many boxes do they need to bring there? In past tense, how many boxes did they need to bring there? And in simple future tense, how many boxes will they need to bring there? Next, we have how are or how is. And the formula we use is the question word plus auxiliary plus to be plus noun or subject and the question mark. How are or how is asking about conditions or circumstance. For example, in the present tense, how is your family? In past tense, how was your family? And in simple future tense, how will be your family? In how are and how is, the pattern is different because this type of how isn't asking about an action or verb, but about a conditions. And there's no main verb after the subject. Also, to be has dual function here. It can be both an auxiliary and a main verb. So the formula changes the question word plus auxiliary or to be plus noun or subject and the question mark. And next we have how long or how often or how far. How long or how often and how far is used if you want to asking for duration or frequency or distance. And the formula we use here is the question word plus adjective or adverb plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb plus object and the question mark. And still the object is optional. For example, in the present tense, how fast do you eat? In past tense, how fast did you sleep last night? And in simple future tense, how long were you out of town? And last we have conclusions. A WH questions are a fundamental part of English communications, frequently used in everyday conversation and used to obtain specific information about people, object, time, place, reason, manner, possession, and choice. And the tenses like present, past, future, it doesn't change the basic patterns. It only changes the auxiliary verb like do, did, will, was, is, am, are, will be, something like that. So that's all my explanation about the WH question and the question words. Thank you for listening.